hope and optimism, Joe or Shedeur. And right now, it's pretty even, about 52% for Shedeur. That swung back. But Mug on Twitter says, hope for what? Wins this year? Wins next year? It's like, buddy, just vote on the damn poll.
You don't get to ask a lot of questions. I guess you can ask whatever you want.
Well, but I think the point is, that's the beauty of a social media poll is you can just kind of infer it the way you want it.
I like people like Mug who want to know exactly what he's voting on. Because it really shapes whether or not he's going to vote it one way or another. It's a very me way of thinking in many ways.
Yeah, I think it's a very us way of...
Hold up. 55% of Browns fans just voted for a fifth-round rookie over a Super Bowl champion. We're talking about Shedeur Sanders, a kid who wasn't even supposed to fall this far in the draft, getting more fan confidence than Joe Flacco, the man who literally saved Cleveland's 2023 season. But here's the kicker. Insiders are whispering that this quarterback room might be more rigged than we think, and Kevin Stefanski's job might depend on a choice that could tear this fan base apart. What you're about to hear from these leaked conversations will change everything you thought you knew about Cleveland's quarterback future. Look, I've been covering this league for years, and I've never seen a quarterback battle create this much division among actual football experts. We're not talking about your typical fan debates here. We're talking about seasoned analysts who can't even agree on what hope means for this Browns franchise. Let me paint you the picture that's got everyone in Cleveland going absolutely insane. Right now, you've got Joe Flacco, the 39-year-old gunslinger who literally came out of retirement and dragged the Browns kicking and screaming into playoff contention. Then you've got Shedeur Sanders, a kid who most draft experts had pegged as a first or second round talent, somehow falling to the fifth round like he's damaged goods. And somewhere in the middle of all this chaos, you've got Kevin Stefanski sweating bullets because he knows his entire coaching career might depend on getting this decision right. But here's what nobody's talking about, and this is where it gets really interesting. There are whispers coming out of Berea that this whole quarterback competition might not be as fair as they're making it seem. We're hearing reports that certain players just aren't getting the love they deserve, and that some coaches might already have their minds made up before these guys even step on the field. Now, before we dive into the meat of this thing, let me ask you something. When was the last time you saw a fifth-round pick generate this much excitement? When was the last time you saw fans choosing an unproven rookie over a proven veteran who literally saved their season? This isn't just about football, people. This is about hope, desperation, and the kind of raw emotion that makes grown men scream at their televisions on Sunday afternoons. The numbers don't lie, and they're telling a story that's got front offices around the league scratching their heads. 55% of Browns fans are putting their faith in Shedeur Sanders over Joe Flacco. That's not just a statistic, that's a statement. That's Cleveland saying they'd rather roll the dice on potential than stick with the devil they know. But let's be real for a second. Joe Flacco isn't just some washed-up quarterback looking for one last paycheck. This is the same guy who went into Indianapolis last year and threw for over 300 yards in his first start. This is the same guy who had Browns fans believing in magic. Again, who had them thinking maybe, just maybe, they could actually make some noise in the playoffs.
Joe can repeat the winning formula of 2023.
No, I don't either.
Because I think it was such a lightning in a bottle, the perfect player at the perfect moment, the perfect guy to inject hope in that moment to that locker room when it needed it most. It's a lot tougher to do it right now. And it's a lot tougher when people already have tape on you in this situation, especially in a similar offense last year in Indy. But I will not begrudge you if you have more hope because you remember what Joe did for you.
Should we be giving more optimism to Dylan Gabriel?
Here's where it gets juicy, though. The experts are starting to whisper that Joe's 2023 performance might have been what they're calling lightning in a bottle. You know what that means? It means they think it was a fluke. They think Joe caught lightning, threw it in a bottle, and now everybody's expecting him to do it again. But here's the thing about lightning. It doesn't strike twice in the same place. One analyst put it perfectly. It was the perfect player at the perfect moment, the perfect guy to inject hope into that locker room when it needed it most. But now it's a different story. Now teams have tape on Joe. Now they know what he's going to do before he does it. And that's got some people in Cleveland absolutely terrified. But while everyone's focused on whether Joe can recreate that magic, there's another story brewing that's got everyone talking. Shedeur Sanders isn't just some random fifth-round pick who got lucky. This kid was supposed to go in the first 2 rounds, and everybody who's being honest about this situation knows it. So what happened? Why did a quarterback with first-round talent fall to the 5th round? Was it the Colorado factor? Was it teams overthinking the primetime connection? Or was it something else entirely? Because if you're getting first-round talent in the 5th round, that's not just good value, that's highway robbery. And here's where the Shedeur Sanders story gets really interesting. This isn't just about talent. This isn't just about arm strength, or pocket presence, or any of that traditional quarterback stuff. This is about something much deeper. This is about a young man who's been preparing for this moment his entire life, who's been groomed by one of the most charismatic athletes in sports history, who understands pressure in a way that most rookies never will. Think about it. While other college quarterbacks were dealing with the typical pressures of college football, Shedeur was dealing with national media attention, social media scrutiny, and the weight of living up to one of the most famous names in sports. That's not just experience. That's trial by fire. But here's where the plot thickens, and this is where you need to pay attention because this could change everything. The word coming out of Cleveland is that Kevin Stefanski had a hand in choosing all 4 quarterbacks on this roster. Not just Joe Flacco, not just Shedeur Sanders. All 4 of them. Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, the whole crew. Now, why is that important? Because it means for the first time in his coaching career in Cleveland, Kevin Stefanski gets to work with quarterbacks that actually fit his system. Think about that for a second. Baker Mayfield? That wasn't his guy. Deshaun Watson? That was a front office decision that came with more baggage than an international flight. But Joe Flacco? That was Kevin's call. Shedeur Sanders? That was Kevin's call. And if Kevin Stefanski's job is on the line this season, which everybody knows it is, then he's going to live or die by the decisions he made in that quarterback room. This is where the chess match gets really complicated. Because on one hand, you've got Joe Flacco, who gives you the best chance to win games right now. He's got the experience, he's got the arm, and he's already proven he can succeed in Cleveland. But on the other hand, you've got Shedeur Sanders, who represents everything this franchise could become if they get it right. And here's the thing that's got Browns fans so conflicted. They want both. They want Joe Flacco to start the season strong, get them off to a good start, and then they want Shedeur Sanders to take over and show them what the future looks like. It's like having your cake and eating it too, except in the NFL, it's never that simple. The experts are calling it the opposite hope scenario. Joe starts strong but peters out as the season goes on. Shedeur starts slower but gets better as the year progresses. It's like watching 2 different movies play out at the same time, and Browns fans are trying to figure out which one has the better ending. But here's what's really got me fired up about this whole situation. While everyone's debating Joe versus Shedeur, there's something much bigger happening behind the scenes. This isn't just about choosing a quarterback. This is about choosing an identity. This is about deciding what kind of team the Cleveland Browns want to be. They want to be the team that plays it safe with the veteran? Do they want to be the team that swings for the fences with the rookie? Or do they want to be the team that tries to have it both ways and ends up with neither? Because let's be honest here, and this is where I'm going to get a little controversial. If you're choosing between Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders for long-term success, there's really only one answer. Joe Flacco is 39 years old. Even if he has another magical season, even if he takes the Browns to the playoffs, even if he wins them a playoff game, what happens next year? What happens the year after that? Shedeur Sanders is 22 years old. If he's even halfway decent, he could be the Browns' quarterback for the next decade. If he's actually good, he could be the guy who finally brings a championship to Cleveland. And if he's great, well, then Browns fans can finally stop talking about 1964. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. What if Shedeur isn't ready? What if he's just another overhyped college quarterback who can't cut it in the NFL? And those are fair questions. But here's the thing, and this is what the 55% of Browns fans who voted for Shedeur understand. Sometimes you have to take risks to get rewards. The safe choice is Joe Flacco. The smart choice might be Joe Flacco. But the choice that could change everything? That's Shedeur Sanders. And here's where this story gets even more interesting. The reports coming out of Cleveland suggest that Kevin Stefanski is going to have complete control over this quarterback decision. Not Jimmy Haslam, not Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, which means the coach who's fighting for his job gets to make the decision that could save his job. Talk about pressure. Talk about stakes. This isn't just about winning games anymore. This is about Kevin Stefanski proving he's the right coach for this franchise. This is about him showing that he can develop quarterbacks, that he can make the tough decisions, that he can handle the pressure of being the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I think that's exactly how it should be. If Kevin Stefanski's job is on the line, then he should get to choose the quarterback he wants to live or die with. He shouldn't have to deal with front office interference. He shouldn't have to worry about ownership pressure. He should get to make the call and live with the consequences. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming. What if Kevin Stefanski doesn't choose Joe Flacco or Shedeur Sanders? What if he goes with Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel? What if he makes a decision that nobody expects and nobody wants? Because according to the reports we're hearing, there's a real chance that Kevin might panic 6 weeks into the season and make a switch that shocks everybody. And if that happens, if he goes away from the two quarterbacks that Browns fans actually want to see, then all hell is going to break loose in Cleveland. The truth is, this quarterback battle isn't just about football. It's about hope, it's about faith, and it's about the kind of blind optimism that makes people Browns fans in the first place. It's about believing that this time will be different, that this quarterback will be the one, that this season will finally be the season, and maybe. That's why 55% of Browns fans are putting their faith in Shedeur Sanders. Maybe it's not about what he's done, it's about what he could do. Maybe it's not about his college stats or his arm strength or his pocket presence. Maybe it's about the fact that he represents possibility in a way that Joe Flacco, for all his experience and success, simply can't. Because at the end of the day, Joe Flacco is what he is. He's a good quarterback who can make plays and win games. But Shedeur Sanders? He could be anything. He could be average, he could be great, or he could be legendary. And for Browns fans who have been waiting their entire lives for legendary, that possibility might be worth the risk. So here's the question that's going to define the Cleveland Browns season. Do you go with the known quantity who gives you the best chance to win now? Or do you go with the unknown quantity who could give you everything you've ever wanted? The answer to that question might determine not just the Browns season, but the future of the entire franchise. And with Kevin Stefanski's job on the line, with fan expectations through the roof, and with Shedeur Sanders waiting in the wings, this could be the most important quarterback decision in Cleveland Browns history. What do you think? Are Browns fans right to put their faith in a fifth-round rookie? Or should they stick with the veteran who's already proven he can succeed in Cleveland? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe because this quarterback battle is just getting started, and you don't want to miss what happens next. The season starts soon, and one way or another, we're about to find out if hope is enough to win football games in Cleveland.